Welcome back to CBS This Morning, Saturday. Boston is a mecca of higher education, home to idyllic campuses, elite universities like Harvard and MIT. It is also where city and community leaders are engaged in a bold experiment to use higher education to transform the city's most dangerous neighborhoods. Less than 2% of the city's youth are involved in gangs, but they are responsible for nearly 3/4 of the shootings on just 5% of the city's street corners. The program Boston Uncornered recruits these gang members, even paying them $400 a week to drop their guns and enroll in school. Supporters say it costs less than the ongoing cycle of enforcement, incarceration, and recidivism, and is also an investment in the community. 33-year-old Antonio Franklin is studying sociology at Boston's Bunker Hill Community College. How hard has school been for you the last couple of years?
Extremely hard. Juggling school with my family, it's very hard. But when you value something, if you want it that bad, you're gonna push yourself to get to what you want.
Bunker Hill is only 7 miles, but a world away from the Dorchester neighborhood where Franklin grew up. He's there on a scholarship of sorts, part of a program that gives former gang members money to stay in school. Some people may look at this and they'll say, this was a guy, he was in a gang. Why should we reward him by paying him to go to school now?
I would say that, we're not being paid really to go to school. I appreciate the money. It keeps us from detouring off of our path. It gives us a little bit of help. Getting in this program, it gave me a second chance. It gave me another opportunity to live my life.
Franklin started getting involved with gangs around the age of 13. What were some of the things that you got involved in?
Well, I got involved with, selling drugs. I got involved with street stuff. I got fights. I've been stabbed, shot 3 times. I've been through a lot.
The game caught up with him in 2007.
A cop was shot. It was my actions that caused the reaction. He was shot by his own partner, and I ended up getting 9 to 10 years for it.
But Franklin's life would change at his sentencing, thanks to what that wounded officer said.
He wanted me to go in there, and he wanted me to change for the betterment of myself. And to hear that coming from a police officer, especially a police officer that was a victim of my actions, it really was a change of heart.
He'd served 10 years. Before his release, he got his GED. Did you know what would await you when you got out?
No. That's the most scariest thing.
A friend put Franklin in touch with Francisco DePina.
This is my brother, so we help each other out.
DePina is a college readiness advisor. Like Franklin, he's also a former gang member from Dorchester.
My 9th grade teacher told me, he said, by the time you're 18, you're either going to be dead or in jail. At that time, I kind of believed it. I thought that was my path.
Did he say that to you as a warning or out of not believing?
Not believing in me. I just brushed it off and said, oh, whatever. But then when, school wasn't for me no more and I was hanging out on the street, I was stuck in that corner.
One day, a recruiter reached out from the local nonprofit College Bound Dorchester and asked DePina to take some classes. What did you think when he said that to you?
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do no classes. I've been through it. School is not for me. And he didn't give up on me. And eventually I said, you know what, I'll try it.
College Bound Dorchester helped DePina get his GED. He's paying them back.
All right.
By helping to recruit others into the program.
I always say it doesn't work the first time. It might not work the second. It might not even work the third time. The key to being a recruiter and doing this work is not giving up. Always go back, try again.
Why don't you give up?
Because someone didn't give up on me. So I'm not going to give up. How are you?
DePina is now one of 15 recruiters who College Bound founder Mark Culleton considers core influencers for the organization's 3-year-old program, Boston Uncornered.
The strange thing is that I believe it's gang leaders and only gang leaders that can actually transform communities.
Why is that?
They're so disproportionately powerful, but that power can be harnessed for good.
I think the one unconventional thing that people find is you're going to pay someone who's in a gang, been in a gang, to go to school.
Right. It would be great if everybody could do exactly the right thing all the time. None of us do that. When you offer them a different opportunity and you say, we will invest in you to make different choices, they're desperate to do that. They want a way out. They just need an excuse and an opportunity.
Culleton can relate, having made poor choices as a teenager after his parents' divorce.
I immediately sort of fell off the cliff, started selling drugs, breaking into houses, like just sort of went wild.
Yeah.
And I would get arrested, and my college-educated white mother would come down to the police station and like make the police apologize to me and send me home.
He says the philosophy behind the program, Boston Uncornered, is based on 3 core principles. Hire former gang members.
There's different scholarships out there. We're going to try to get you.
Insist on high expectations from students and invest in their future. In other words,
don't be afraid to put your money where your mouth is, to give these leaders an opportunity to make positive choices. And if you just do those 3 simple things, your city will change.
what did you think when you first heard about it?
I said it's about time.
Boston Police Commissioner William Gross, the first African American to lead his force, sees this as an extension of the department's community policing enacted citywide.
We want to reach the individuals that are having challenges and then help them out. So are you actually paying a gang member, or are you paying a future, right? So you think gangs, right? We pay for the lawyers, incarceration, the upkeep. No. This is an investment into someone's future to change their life for the better, and that'll be a return investment for us, the community.
Like Antonio Franklin, using the investment made in him to lay a foundation for his future and his family's.
You have a 2-year-old.
Yes.
What does this program mean in terms of him and the example you're able to set for him?
A role model. Like it shows that, I don't want my son to look back at my life or Google me and see that, oh, my father was just somebody who was in the streets. I want him to see that my father, he was in the streets, but he came home and he really did good, and not just do good, he did good for the betterment of everybody around him. That's who I want to be.
And Antonio wants to use the degree when he gets it to start a youth program and help others. This is the whole idea behind Boston Uncornered, one domino at a time. Antonio knew Francisco in the neighborhood. They were both in the gang. He gets out. He sees that he's doing better. Hey, maybe I can do this. You need that leg up. You need the help. Mark talked to us about the name. Everyone has been cornered in at some point, and everyone needs help to get out of that corner, and that's behind Boston.
Well, and that's the more important part of it, though, is not just doing it for yourself, doing it for the next generation and doing it for the kids, so they can say, like, what was Daddy? Yeah. What was Mommy?
Yeah.
What did they do?
And they point out also the cost of incarceration and repeated incarceration is more than what is being invested in these people each year, and that's something to consider as well.
Here's to Mark and Chief Willie. I like that
and
combination.
Everyone behind that program.